You were probably told the same thing growing up. Just be nice. Be the bigger person. If you're kind, people will treat you well. So you tried. You swallowed your anger to keep the peace. You said, "It's fine," when it wasn't. You forgave the same disrespect 10 times in a row. And somehow, the nicer you became, the less people respected you. They took advantage of your flexibility. They assumed you'd always understand. They treated your time and energy like an endless resource. You followed the script. But you still ended up used, overlooked, and quietly resentful. So what went wrong? Machiavelli would say, your strategy was wrong from the beginning, because nice is not a moral quality, it's a tactic. And as a tactic, it's one of the weakest you can use. Welcome to PhiloThrone, where we turn philosophy into self-mastery, and you learn to sit on the throne of your own mind. Today, we're going to strip something dangerous down to the bone, why being nice is the dumbest strategy you can use, and why it keeps you weak, resentful, and disrespected. Then we'll build something stronger. How to stop being nice without becoming cruel. How to be good without being easy. Stay with me. Nice is not the same as good. Most of us were raised on a lie. Nice, good. Not nice, bad. But look more closely. Nice is how other people experience you. Good is who you actually are when no one is watching. A nice person smiles when they're angry, agrees when they disagree, says, "Don't worry about it," when it's eating them alive. A good person tells the truth, even when it costs them, refuses to betray their values to keep the peace, helps others, but not at the cost of self-destruction. In The Prince, Machiavelli makes a cold distinction. A ruler should appear merciful, faithful, humane, religious, upright, but must be able to act against those virtues when necessary. That sounds evil. Until you realize what he's actually saying. If your kindness makes you predictable and harmless, you're not virtuous. You're vulnerable. The nice person says yes to avoid conflict, forgives too quickly to avoid awkwardness, stays silent to avoid tension. The good person says no when something is wrong, forgives when it's deserved, not because it's convenient, speaks up when silence becomes self-betrayal. Nice is a costume. Goodness is a spine. Most people chase the costume and then wonder why they feel hollow. Why niceness loses in power dynamics. Machiavelli was obsessed with one question. Who actually has control? Who gets to decide? Whose needs shape reality? Whose boundaries matter? He warns that a prince who relies only on being loved will be destroyed when things go bad. People love you when it's easy, when you're useful, when you're soft. But when their interests clash with yours, love becomes optional. Consequences do not. You're not ruling a kingdom, but you are the ruler of your time, your energy, and your standards. If your whole strategy is, if I'm nice enough, people won't hurt me, you've surrendered before the game even begins. Nice sends a very clear signal. I will bend to keep things smooth. I will absorb the discomfort so you don't have to. I will pay the emotional bill for everyone. That makes you pleasant. It does not make you respected. In any relationship, the person more afraid of conflict becomes the one who keeps yielding. The person more afraid of being disliked becomes the one who keeps paying. The person addicted to being seen as nice becomes the one whose needs never truly matter. Niceness isn't neutral. It's a tell. It tells people exactly how far they can go. The psychology behind niceness. Jung and the shadow. Carl Jung would say your niceness isn't just a trait. It's armor. Somewhere you learned, anger is dangerous, disagreement is unlovable. Boundaries are selfish, so you exiled those parts of yourself. Carl Jung called that the shadow. Everything you won't allow yourself to be, but still are. If you're always agreeable and soft, your shadow is full of everything you're suppressing. Your anger at being disrespected, your hunger to be taken seriously, your ability to say no and walk away. You don't erase these parts. You just push them into the dark, and that energy doesn't disappear. It leaks. As quiet resentment, passive-aggressive comments, secret fantasies of revenge, burnout from constantly overgiving. You tell yourself, I'm just nice, I'm just understanding. But underneath, there's another truth. You're terrified of what would happen if you stopped being endlessly nice. Would people leave? Would they attack? Would they call you selfish, dramatic, or changed? Jung would ask you simply, are you truly kind, or are you just afraid of your own power? The Stoic problem with being nice. The Stoics didn't care if you were nice. They cared if you were aligned. Marcus Aurelius did not spend his nights journaling, how do I make people like me more? He wrote, how do I stay true to my nature and my duty, even when people misunderstand me? Epictetus said, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's the opposite of nice. Niceness is image management. Stoic character is inner law. The Stoic isn't trying to be rude. He's trying to be honest, self-controlled, and just. If the truth makes you uncomfortable, he says it anyway. If a boundary makes you disappointed, he holds it anyway. His metric is not, did I keep everyone happy? It's, did I act according to my values, or did I betray myself again to avoid friction? Stoicism says, be kind, be fair, be just, but don't be easily bent. Niceness folds first. The hidden rage of the nice person. Here's the part people rarely admit. Under almost every chronically nice person is someone quietly furious. Not visibly raging, just boiling. Furious about all the it's okay, don't worry about it, that we're not okay. Furious about favors never returned. Apologies never given back. Versions of yourself you had to kill just to be tolerated. If you've ever felt a sudden internal snap, a quiet, I'm done moment that even shocked you, that's your shadow trying to step into the light. Niceness doesn't resolve your anger. It buries it, until it explodes at the wrong person at the wrong time, or turns inward as shame, self-hatred, or depression. And in all of that, you still don't get what you needed. Clarity, respect, boundaries. Machiavelli would say you've tried to rule a kingdom without ever punishing treason. You keep rewarding bad behavior with more chances, more patience, more niceness. Why would anyone change? Why being nice attracts the wrong people? Niceness is a signal, but not everyone reads it the same way. Healthy people might see it as kindness. Predatory, selfish, or deeply immature people see it as an opportunity. To someone who loves control, the nice person is the perfect target. They avoid conflict. They feel guilty saying no. They over-explain themselves. They try to understand you, even when you're clearly in the wrong. Machiavelli would call you useful. Not equal, not respected, useful. The more nice you are, the more magnetic you become to people who want someone to emotionally drain, to lean on without reciprocity, or to keep as a backup. You're not doing this on purpose, but your strategy broadcasts, I won't fight back. I will always give you the benefit of the doubt. I am terrified of you disliking me. That doesn't inspire respect. It inspires exploitation. Loved versus useful. The Machiavellian distinction. Machiavelli wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved if you have to choose between the two." He wasn't celebrating cruelty. He was pointing at something real. People who fear consequences respect your boundaries. People who only love your niceness respect their own convenience. In everyday life, this means, if the only reason people keep you around is because you are easy, if they never feel your no, never hit the wall of your limits, they don't love your character. They love your utility. Niceness is useful. It smooths everything over. It keeps others comfortable. But if you removed your niceness, if you stopped cushioning, explaining, absorbing, would they still be there? Or would they vanish the moment you stop playing the role? That's the real test. Now that you've seen the cost of being nice, we can finally talk about what to do instead. How do you stop being endlessly nice without becoming cruel or numb? From niceness to strategic kindness. The first shift is simple. Stop aiming to be nice. Start aiming to be clear and kind. Niceness says, I'll avoid saying anything that might upset you, even if it hurts me. Strategic kindness says, I will treat you fairly and with respect, but I will not lie, overextend, or betray myself to keep you comfortable. Niceness avoids conflict at any cost. Strategic kindness accepts conflict when truth or justice require it. Niceness says, it's okay, no worries, when it is very much not okay. Strategic kindness says, I understand why it happened, but it can't keep happening like this. Machiavelli would say, appear merciful, faithful, humane, but do not sacrifice your ability to act. You can be warm, you can be generous, you can be patient. But behind all of that, you need a non-negotiable core. There is a line you don't get to cross and still have the same access to me. That isn't cruelty. That's self-respect. Stoic law. You're responsible for your standards, not their feelings. The Stoics believed you don't control other people's reactions, only your own actions and judgments. Marcus Aurelius wrote about not being thrown off by another person's praise, anger, or moods. Translated into your life, you are responsible for whether your boundary is clear. You are not responsible for whether someone is happy about it. Niceness flips this. Niceness says, if you're upset, that means I did something wrong. I must adjust myself until you feel better. Stoicism says, if my actions are aligned with my values, your reaction is your responsibility. That doesn't mean you become cold. It means you stop rearranging your entire personality to protect other people from ever feeling disappointed. You can say, I care about you, but I will not do that. I understand you're upset, but this is still my decision. I hear your point of view, and I'm still choosing this. Soft voice, clear line. That's mature power. Machiavelli's 3 warnings for nice people. Let's let Machiavelli speak directly into your life. Warning 1. If people never fear losing you, they will never fully respect you. Fear here doesn't mean terror. It means awareness of consequences. If someone can talk to you however they want, cancel repeatedly, drain you emotionally, and you're still there, smiling and forgiving, they don't fear any loss. So why change? Warning. Don't reveal all of your intentions. Nice people overshare. They pour out every feeling, every fear, every justification. That gives manipulators a map. What you fear, what you crave. What you feel guilty about, Machiavelli would tell you to cultivate a bit of mystery. You can be honest without being fully transparent with everyone. Warning. 3. Don't assume goodwill where there is only advantage. Nice people project their own kindness onto others. They wouldn't do that to me, because I wouldn't do it to them. Machiavelli would say, people act according to their interests, not your standards. Your job is not to become bitter, your job is to become accurate. When someone shows you, repeatedly, that they only show up when it benefits them, believe them, and adjust access accordingly. 4 new rules to replace. Nice. Now let's turn this into practice. Here are 4 rules to replace your old be nice programming. Rule 1. Be clear first, gentle second. Nice people reverse this. They try to be gentle and end up being unclear. You say, I mean, if you want, it's kind of okay. I'm just a bit tired. What they hear is, convince me a little and I'll do it anyway. Flip it. Say the clear part first. I can't do that. I'm not okay with this. That doesn't work for me. Then you can add softness if you want. I hope you understand. I still care about you. Maybe another time. Clarity first. Gentleness second. Rule 2. Never explain a boundary more than once. Explain your boundary once, calmly. If they push, you don't launch into a second essay. You say, I've already explained my perspective, or my answer hasn't changed. Nice people turn their boundaries into debates. People with self-respect don't. Rule 3. Let people be uncomfortable with your no. When you say no, some people will pout, guilt trip, or withdraw. Niceness rushes in. Are you mad? Please don't be upset. I feel so bad. You are not responsible for making sure other people never experience a normal, human disappointment. You can care about their feelings without rescuing them from reality. Rule 4. Match access to behavior, not words. Nice people give the same access to everyone, no matter how they're treated. A powerful person quietly adjusts. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, they get less access. If someone consistently respects, reciprocates, and shows up, they get more. You don't make a big speech. You just move differently. Machiavelli would approve. The 7-day Stop Being So Nice experiment. You don't need a whole new personality. You need a new experiment. For the next 7 days, try this. Day 1 to 2. No fake yes. If your body says no, your mouth is not allowed to say yes. Say, I'm not able to do that, or I need to think about it. No instant, automatic yes. Day 3 to 4. One explanation only. Whenever you say no or set a boundary, you get one calm explanation. If they push, you repeat. My answer is the same. No extra paragraphs, no emotional essays. Day 5. One honest correction. Choose one moment where you'd normally swallow your discomfort. Say something like, please don't joke about that, or I didn't like how that felt. Say it quietly and clearly. Watch what happens. Day 6. Let one person be disappointed. Say no to something and do not fix their reaction. If they sulk, stay silent or act colder. Let it be. You are training your nervous system to survive not being seen as nice. Day 7. Reevaluate access. Look at the people in your life and ask, who respects my boundaries? Who ignores them, mocks them, or punishes them? Then adjust. More access to the ones who respect you. Less to the ones who only liked you when you had none. Respect versus niceness. Most people say they want respect. What they really want is to stay nice and magically be respected anyway. They want no conflict, no disappointed faces, no one ever calling them selfish or changed. And at the same time, they want strong boundaries, deep respect, equal treatment. That combination doesn't exist. The moment you stop being endlessly nice, some people will get angry. Not because you did something wrong, but because you stopped letting them win by default. Machiavelli would say you change the terms of the relationship. Those who benefited from the old terms will complain the loudest. The final question. Niceness is easy. You were trained in it. Real goodness, real strength, that's harder. It asks for clarity, for conflict, for discomfort, for the courage to be misunderstood. So here's your question. If you stopped being nice for 1 week, if you stopped sugarcoating, stopped over-explaining, stopped saying yes when you meant no, who would still stand beside you? Who would pull away? Who would respect you more? And who would reveal that they only ever valued you because you were easy to use? Sit with that, because your answer will show you exactly where your niceness is costing you your life. If this video made you see yourself more clearly, like the video so it reaches more people who are trapped in the same nice prison. Tell me in the comments, what is one situation this week where you will choose clarity over niceness? I'm reading. And if you want more philosophy on power, boundaries, and self-mastery, keep watching PhiloThrone and claim your seat on the throne of your own mind. Because next, we're going to talk about the other side of this coin. Why being cold is not power either, and how to be strong without becoming numb. You don't want to miss that.